Take my bride, let's go for a ride in my newfangled automobile. Just where we will go, nobody knows, but it's sure a great way to feel. Behind the wheel of the speed meter steel, it's my newfangled automobile.
Hello and welcome to Vintage Car History. I'm Wild Bill. Do you see torpedo boats? Fans of Drachinifel and of naval history in general will be familiar with this famous question asked by the Imperial Russian ship Kamchatka during the ill-fated voyage of the Russian 2nd Pacific Squadron during the Russo-Japanese War. Yet it must be said that for the Kamchatka to fear torpedo boats, someone had to first invent the torpedo boats themselves. And as it turns out, the man who did so also transformed the roads of Great Britain and indeed the world with trucks and cars. So, today we're going to take a look at the man behind so many thrown binoculars, Sir John Isaac Thornycroft. John was born in Rome, Italy in 1843, which is not typical of most Englishmen. But then the Thornycroft family were certainly not typical. They were artisans. Both his mother Mary and his father Thomas were sculptors of considerable renown, being commissioned for work across Europe, which is why young John was born in Rome, as his parents were making some bronze statues for the Vatican at the time. The family did shortly afterwards return to England, and young John grew up in Hampshire, and unlike his parents, did not pursue an artisan career, though the influence of the arts would pervade in all of his future work. John Thornycroft was an engineer, inventor, and innovator in all things mechanical, and though the family was not noble, they did possess the influence and finances to ensure that he got the education and opportunities needed to explore his passions. John studied engineering at the University of Westminster, then known as the Regent Street Polytechnic, as well as naval architecture and design in South Kensington. He began his own experiments with steam-powered boats and ships in his teen years, building the Nautilus and launching it in 1862. Thornycroft designed the boat himself, designed the engine and propeller, and the Nautilus proved to be a quite fast and nimble little vessel. In 1866, John, with the help of his father, established the John I. Thornycroft and Company on the Thames at Chiswick, where he would do many things naval. Torpedo boats were on the forefront. He began to study and build small attack craft to support the newly invented self-propelled torpedo. And his torpedo boats were often faster than the weapons they carried. John was amongst the innovators of hull form studies, how to use new scientific methods in a laboratory to make ships faster and more stable. The Royal Navy and other navies as well wanted more of his artistic yet lethal ship designs. But I digress. Yes, for the next some 40-plus years, he would become a legend in British naval history. Yet it was in 1898 that he would also transform the roads of England and beyond, or more specifically, what could be found on them. He partitioned a section of his factory at Chiswick to focus on making a steam lorry. Using the technology that he invented for his torpedo boats, he applied it to commercial vehicles and, in the process, invented the articulated lorry, which in the USA we call the semi. The origins of this invention were 2 years earlier. He built his steam wagon number 1 in 1896, and it was a capable commercial vehicle. Yet the straight chassis design of horse or steam drays of the time had their limitations, as did hitching up many vehicles together to make a road train of sorts. Thornycroft developed what we know as the fifth wheel, an over-axle connection for multiple trailers to be hauled by a tractor vehicle that, due to the excellent weight distribution, would allow the lorry or truck to pull and carry far larger loads than before. Yes, Sir John Isaac Thornycroft indeed invented the big rig. But he wasn't done yet with road-going things. In 1903, he established yet another company on the Thames, the Thornycroft Automobile Company, and for the next 10 years built gas, not steam-powered cars of his own design. These cars had a very advanced integration of the electrical systems. They charged the batteries through a belt-driven dynamo to ensure complete ignition and power to the lighting, which was also electrical and not common on cars of the day. His engine designs were also amongst the first to feature full pressure lubrication, something even Henry Ford did not do for another 20 years. John Thornycroft was knighted for his brilliance in naval engineering in 1902. He was also embraced as a Fellow of the Royal Society, and his impact on naval history is a massive tale to be told by someone else, because I'm a car guy. Yet it was this man, Sir John Isaac Thornycroft, the inventor of the torpedo boat, that also invented the big trucks we see on the road today. Please throw no binoculars. Thanks for watching Fitch's Car History, and we'll see you next week. Peace.